Folks, how we doing? Today we're going to be looking at a couple of my upcoming PSA submissions. Some of these cards come from my childhood collection, some a recent garage sale that I went to, and some are just some of my favorite pulls that we've gotten very lucky with, and I am super excited to show you guys this list. Let's get right into it. All right, everybody, let's look through these cards. I got a couple of bangers. The real bangers are going to be back here, so just hold on for those. They're just coming out last. All right, we're starting up here with this Mewtwo and Mew GX. Unified Minds. I mean, this card is great. It's not the alt art, it's just kind of the basic one. Got this at the garage sale. A lot of these are going to be coming from the garage sale, so I'm excited to show off these. I think this is going to get a 10. I have the value around like $60, so let's see what we get on that one. The Reshiram and Charizard GX coming from Unbroken Bonds. I'm a big Charizard fan. You may know this. You will see it. Apologize in advance. It happens. I think we do have another 10 candidate here. I mean, these are just great. I'm really going to try to stop killing you guys with the flash, but we're new. We're working. I still think that this card is great, though. Next, we got the Venusaur VMAX Black Star promo from the Venusaur VMAX Battle Box. When I had gotten the pickup from the garage sale, I had seen so many cards I had never seen, especially being away from the hobby for as long as I was. It's just amazing to see the artwork that has transpired and how it's progressed over time. It's great, honestly. The Umbreon Star. Like this. No, this card is great though too. I mean, this is immaculate. They really kept a great deal of care of all their cards. I don't think that's actually on the card. Let's pull that out. Let's find out. Let's find out. Is this actually on the card or is it on the Card Saver 1? Card Saver 1, thank God. Alright. Let's get her back in there. So, when I'm grading my cards myself, before I send them into PSA, I'm always just looking, is the centering 60-40? I'm okay with it being a little bit off center. You'll see that on a couple of these. However, it has to be clean of grime, it has to be clean of scratches. The back has to be essentially fully clear of any white dots. No scratches on the back. Also, pretty decent centering. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect on the back. PSA will tell you that on their website. But yeah, I think this is another 10 candidate. These are going for around $50 in a 10. We'll see what we hit. This EV comes from my personal collection as a child. I've sent in a couple of these so far. I've gotten 2 10s. Yeah, I'm 2 for 2 on these. I believe this one will get a 9 though, due to this spec right here. It'll focus due to that spec up there. I think it'll get a 9 even with that. That's okay though. Whole point of this card is to help pay for the sub. That's all it's for. Jolteon V. Now we're getting into some of my favorites of this whole submission. This Jolteon V. Now you'll notice I am pretty friendly with how off-centered I am with submitting cards. But the reason why I'm okay with it is I use this little tool from Passive Paradise, the centering tool, to line it up. When in the whole kit, it gives you little guidelines on what is generally accepted and what is a 60-40, what's a 50-50, and so it usually a 3-2. You can see on that one, on this right side, it hits that line at the 3, and on this left side, it'll hit it at a 2 on the where the border meets the actual artwork. And so for this, based on the criteria that PSA sends out and the guide from Passive Paradise, I'll put a link down below so you can see what I'm talking about, which specific one I use. It may be an affiliate link, it may not be, probably not. I'll probably just throw it down there, let people get it for their own cause. This card is, other than that off-center piece a little bit, it is perfect. And for a promo, Thought I saw something. And for a promo, this is just great to come out of a box like this. In a 10, these are looking at about 175 in a 10. So we'll see what we get. That would be amazing if we could land that. Right into another Jolteon. Are you going to see a trend? Do I like Jolteons? Yes. If you hate Jolteon, I'm sorry. I love him. Them. They're great. This one is a little OC as well, but I'm okay with that. I mean, we're just to show what I do usually when I'm for my PSA subs. I'm only got 50% 10 rate, but a lot of the cards I sent in were not meant to get 10s, so I think that kind of makes up for it. But if we're looking here, we're gonna see it's a little bit harder to see on this card, honestly. So hopefully it doesn't matter as much because it is so hidden in that hollow. But I see another 3-2, and we are okay with 3-2s. Let me just look at these. Beautiful. Glaceon V-Star. I'm a huge Evolutions fan. Every single one of them. I think they're all great. I think Eevee may be the most underrated Pokemon in all of this series. It can evolve into basically every single type. Name another Pokemon that can evolve into almost every single type. Don't worry, I'll wait. Looking at this Glaceon center, I mean, to compare, gotta keep them in the same order though, because PSA will be unhappy. If you look at this border right here, it's substantially thicker than if we're looking at this border. I mean, you'll see this one is a lot more 50-50 than the other ones, which is okay. I think that this will get a 10. I pulled this myself. This is most likely going to stay in my personal collection. I just really like this card. The only thing about this card that I think may mess up the grade are those two print lines that run up and down it. Kind of hard to see on camera, but if you're looking at this card straight up, you can kind of see it right here. I wonder if that'll affect the grade. We will find out, but I'm just curious. Riolu, this is coming from my Costco Does It Again Pokemon Edition short. I was surprised to pull a card that looked like this. I didn't even know that this card existed. I mean, the more I open up other sets, the better and more appreciative I get of Pokemon, what they're doing, the amount of time that gets spent into designing these cards. I mean, they're beautiful. This Riolu, I mean, this whole artwork is just amazing. Just a little tough guy. He went a little hard in the room. That's okay though, but I think this is definitely hitting a 10. You're not going to see a lot of these in a 10. A lot of people haven't graded them. I've only seen one sale in a 10, and I believe it was in the $40 to $50 range, so who knows? But great card. Zinnia's Resolve. This is for all the waifu lovers. She is definitely going to help pay for the sub. That's kind of her goal in this entirely. I am sorry to say it. I just realized as I was looking at this that the card I submitted for this Riolu was the French version. Make sure when you're doing your PSA subs that you enter the cards correctly. They will send them back. You don't want that. You don't want to pay for shipping. Nobody wants to deal with that. Make sure you do it right. Making a mental note to go back and redo that sub. I make a video on me just doing the sub and how the process works, and just so people can see it at 2024 eyes. But this Zinnia's Resolve, I mean, this card is also looking really good. The centering is great. This is a garage sale card. I mean, they took great care of these cards. And I'll be putting out a video of a lot of the cards that I got from that garage sale. I mean, it was insane finds. Another one, the Birthday Pikachu from Celebrations. This is a great card. The original is prettier, of course, However, I think that they did a really good job with these celebration cards. The population on them is kind of ridiculous, especially not being around when celebrations are released. I don't know what it was like to get it in stores, how much the print one was. Um, but yeah, I think this card is great. I'm a big Pikachu guy, um, especially watching the anime once it first came out. Still have all the VHSs of pretty much the whole first season. I think I'm gonna have to pull those out for a video just to show everyone those because they're pretty cool. Another Pikachu from Celebrations. These are really hard to get in a 10. From what I was seeing, is that Caterpie is that there are a ton of print lines that run through these cards. I have about I think 10 that I got from the garage sale that are like this, and I think only one of them is a 10 candidate. Only because of print lines. I mean, the backs on all the other ones are great. They look just like this, but just the print lines, and this one has 0 print lines. So I think this is going to be a perfect 10 candidate. Hopefully this one comes back as a 10. We got the War Turtle art illustration rare. Yes, the art rare. I always get confused with Japanese cards and what to call them, the rarities, everything like that. I really like the Under the Sea vibes.
Hey, this
Funny.
is Sencho, and this one goes out to all the hip hop fans out there. If you like what you're hearing right now, it's called Double Take, and you can download this.
My apologies for the commercial. It kind of threw me off guard.
Peace.
We will be back in about 2 seconds. And yeah, they did 151 is really what's gotten me back into the hobby. I mean I enjoy ripping packs, and I did before 151 came out, but seeing all of my original cards come back to life with these new illustrations, I think it's absolutely amazing. And I think a lot of other people got back into the hobby from 151, especially people that are around my age. I was out with Gen 1. Spoiler, these submissions right here, you're going to reflect that. So you'll see that in a minute. But yeah, another 10 candidate. Not seeing a ton of these sold. We'll see though. I think this is around $50. Charizard from Team Up. Honestly, the only reason why I'm getting this card graded is because A, it's Charizard. I love me some Charizards. B, I believe this is a 100% 10 candidate. I'm going to have to double check it because there's like potentially some smudge down there. Let's see. It's funny, I'm doing this for a non-holo Charizard. Because it's Charizard. Perfect, okay. So, as we can see, there is no smudge. Perfect, that's exactly what we want to see. Spoiler on the next card. But yeah, these go for about I'd say about $50 to $75 in a 10. A non-holo Charizard from Team Up is going around $60 to $75 for a 10. We'll let that one sink in. On to the next one, Blastoise GX from Unbroken Bonds. I pulled this from, I believe I got the pack. Where did I get that pack from? I think I got it from Amazon, an Unbroken Bonds pack from Amazon. And this guy was just sitting in there. These are also going for around 60 to 75 and a 10. I think it's definitely a 10 candidate. The centering looks really good. The back looks really good. There's no whitening. The edges look good. I think the submission is going to be pretty strong. The only 9 that I know is coming is the Eevee. It's 100% going to be a 9 or an 8. If it's an 8, I'm going to be sad. If it's a 9, it should be a 9. We got a Gloria, Brilliant Stars full art. Hopping on that waifu train, just trying to show some love for my waifu guys and gals. Card looks really good too. I mean, this is another one that's from the garage sale. I mean, they did a great job with these cards and just taking care of them and making sure they're in great shape. Marnie's Pride. Another one from Brilliant Stars, full art. This one's a little bit more pricey. People really like Marnie. This one goes for about 100, 110 for a 10. And I think this is a primo candidate. Can everyone see what is going on with the card right there? Actually, let's do some investigation. Is that on the card? Is it on the penny sleeve? Please tell me it's on the penny sleeve. Get a closer look at this Marnie. Thank the Lord, it is on the penny sleeve right here. Okay. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get a brand new penny sleeve. Never want to send a penny sleeve with anything on it to PSA. They will not take kindly to it. My idea is that from the first time that the grader sees the card, it should look immaculate. They should automatically think, hey, I think this card is a 10 in my mind, because you do not want to let any seeds or thoughts of doubt go into their mind when they're grading your cards, because if they do, no matter what, it's going to transfer into the actual grade. No matter what they'll tell you, people will just go with usually with their gut feeling, and if that's what they're feeling at that time and when they first see it, you never know. It all depends on who you're getting, what day they're having, or all the above. But I think this is a 10 mil. Pikachu be another Pikachu. Are we seeing trends? Anyway, we got this full art Pikachu. This is another one from the garage sale. I'm shocked at how many potential 10s that I do have from this garage sale. Oop, knock the camera a little bit. It is amazing, and this isn't even half. I bought one stack when I first went to the garage sale. Bought one stack for 110. This is where all these come from. I'll go through all those cards that I got too, but this is one of them. This is another 10 candidate. These are going for about $75 to $100 in 10. So we'll see. All right, we got the Charizards from Celebrations. These, I don't really know how to price them. When I first was initially doing the submission about a month ago, I was just kind of pulling cards together. I've had them for a while. I remember it being around like 120, 150 for a 10, but last time I checked on eBay, the last sold, they're selling for around 175 to 250. So I mean, this copy is insanely clean. I don't think that there's a speck of white on anything. This may be even a candidate for a black label. However, I've never graded with VGS. I'm 100% unfamiliar with the process. Yeah, so PSA 10 all day. I'm hoping for that 10. This will be a $200 card. I will most likely keep this in the collection. If it gets a 9, I will most likely let it go and hunt for some more, because who doesn't love some Charizards? And the last card of the sub, we got this Gyarados VMAX Secret from Evolving Skies. Also, being a Gen 1 guy, I love Gyarados. Also, I love Magikarp. So Gyarados usually makes it onto my squad in 9 times out of 10 when I run back any old Gen 1 Pokemon game. I think this card is amazing. It's got the rainbow. It's definitely going to hit a 10. These go for around 75. I think it's great. I think it's absolutely great. All right, that's the 20 card submission. The total value on all of these cards in 10s that I believe, or in the grades that I think that they'll get, I put the value as this is it being a 9. I know it's not going to get a 10, so that's the only one I didn't think will actually get a 10. But the value on all of these is around $1,704. I may have a graphic up on the screen that'll show that, but let's see what we can pull. I mean, $350 for the submission, coming out with $1,700 in sales, depending on where the prices are at in a month. I mean, we're at a bottom for Pokemon cards. I mean, if you look at any charts, Danny Phantom, he covers them really well. You'll see his thumbnails. Are we at the bottom? I think I agree with him. I think that the charts have been showing that everything has just been going downhill price wise, and I think it's a great time to go pick up cards. And so either I'll be letting these go for a steal, or I'll be making some pretty good money and then getting another sub ready. All right. Now let's go into my other two submissions. It's a 1 card and a 2 card. Get this out of the bubble wrap. All right, this is the 1 card submission. This is going to be in the $40 submission tier. I believe it's the Super Saver. Let's pull this card out so we can get a look at it. All right, let's just look at the back. That up there, I believe, is just on the card saver. But we got the Charizard EX from 151. This is something that I pulled. I mean, the centering, to me, definitely within that 50-50, 60-40 range, no question. I mean, having these Jolteons as a guide for me is amazing, because I know, just from looking at cards now, what's within PSA's guidelines. Especially having had a couple 10s come back, I can kind of see like what they look for, what they don't want in cards. Had a couple of older vintage cards come back as 8s and 7s, and I can see why they said that. I mean, they're historically harsher on vintage cards, but that's okay. So I'm hoping, since this is a modern Zard, the person will be like, oh my gosh, this is a great Zard, and give me that 10. Add this to the personal collecty, you know? All right, so that's my $40 sub. Now let's get to the Super Express submissions that I have going on right now. It's 2 cards, both the same cards. You may already know what these are. We have the base set Shadowless Charizards. 2. These are out of my personal collection as a kid. These cards are in, to me, I think for the year, like, these are well over 20-year-old cards. And to have Charizards that are shadowless and have them be this good on the back and front, I think it's just, I mean, there's some whitening here, there's a little lightning here, maybe a tid there. I believe that this card will either get a 7 or a 6. I'm okay with these not coming back with crazy grades. I really think this one will be a 7, because the hollow, let's just pull this out. Hollow on this card, I believe, is the one that's scratched. You can see a little scratch right there. So I realistically think this one is going to come back. Yeah, you can see this pretty big scratch coming through the middle right there. Can't really get it to focus on it, but the scratch is there, unfortunately. So I think that's going to ding this card pretty hard. Other than that scratch, though, this card is immaculate. So hoping for a 7 on this. Not really expecting anything crazy, especially with that crack, that scratch right down the middle. I mean, you can only do so much, right? We were kids. We enjoyed our cards. We enjoyed pulling them out of the binders. Shit happens. All right, that's one of the Zards. Now let's look at the better Zard. The Zard, I think, has an 8 or a 9 potential. 8 or a 9? So for a 9 in this particular Charizard being the Shadowless, I mean, let's look at the back here. There is a little bit of whitening up here. Not a lot. No whitening down there. Maybe a smidge right there, but this card is perfect. This hollow, any which way you look at it, perfect. I think this is a 9 contender. Honestly, a 9 for this Zard is going around 4K. So I'm hoping this comes back as a 7, because these are running about 1,000 to 1,200. This is running about in a 9, which I'm praying that it gets. If it gets a 10, I don't I don't even know. I don't even know what we would do in that situation. I would definitely keep it, but I would be feeling a different type of way if I had got a 10. Oh yeah, that's those are my PSA subs. Let's hope I get really good grades on these Charizards. Thank you for staying with me. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. Subscribe, like the video. Thank you so much for watching my first video. It means a lot to me. Every single one of you that actually sticks it out to the end. I know you're talking a long time. I apologize. But thank you, and have a great day, and catch you on the next one.